So, we are back from holiday. You guys wouldn't have known that because we did actually manage to get a video out last Monday. It's meant to be every Sunday at 8 p.m, but didn't manage to do that. My editing skills, there was something wrong with the video, didn't like it, and we couldn't edit it because we were away in Devon and Cornwall, Dorset, and I didn't have my laptop. So that's why it went out on Monday. But now I think what we're going to be doing is Monday at 8 p.m. is the time to release these videos. It gives me that little slot from the weekend to be able to edit the video and then post it on Monday instead. Anyhow, moving on, we come back from holiday. It was like a week away. No, it's actually longer than that. It was like 10 days or something.
Yeah, we had 10 days.
We've done so much cool stuff. Some of the places, one of the places was not cool, and that was Dawlish. If you're from Dawlish, what do you do? What do you actually do around Dawlish? By the way, for those who are listening, it's in the UK. That's where we went, in the UK. And there's a place in Dawlish, a place in Devon called Dawlish. And I don't know what the hell they do there. There wasn't much to do at all. But we found nearing towns that were actually really good. So there was a place called Paynton, that was alright. But the other one was okay.
Paynton
it was like
a bit boring.
It was like a Blackpool or something, kind of like that.
No, Blackpool's way worse.
Worse?
Blackpool's a lot worse.
Anyhow, it's kind of like that. But Brixham was really cool. It was like a nice little harbour town.
Yeah.
Loads of little dainty shops. A lot of them were shut. But got some advice off of a fisherman. Fisher tackle shop. Got some advice from a dude that knows what he's doing.
Because he works at a tackle shop.
Yeah, and we went fishing and we went and
got some mackerel.
Apparently, we were really lucky because we've never sea fished before. And casted. No, we haven't. Barely. Once before, but it was
rubbish. Dodgy little rod that we got given on a boat.
We're not even going to discuss that. That was just rubbish.
It was our first time, pretty much.
Properly went and set out this time.
Yeah.
And we did really well. We got 11 mackerel in the end. Danny was smashing it up. I was having to kill them and gut them because we killed 5 of them and ate it on the barbecue. So that, or in African, or Afrikaans, braai. So yeah, we had that. It was lovely. I'll overlay some pictures and maybe a little video of our little trip away catching mackerel because that was good. And I'd recommend anyone, even if you don't like fishing, if you like to eat fish, it's such a healthy, lovely way.
As well.
It was easy for us.
It's easy and it's free.
It's free, yeah. You
don't need a license.
Just need a rod, a reel, and some lures. That's what we were.
You can even free line it. No. With your hand, yes, you can. For mackerel, you can.
Yeah, maybe, but
you can.
It's gonna hurt your hand. I recommend a rod.
If you have the wood with the line.
She's African. She likes to do.
You can make it happen.
She likes to do bodge jobs.
Not bodge because they work.
Like the time where I nearly burnt my bivvy down, but that's another story. Literally set it all on fire nearly. Anyways.
You always said me on fire, more like.
Yeah, so we did that, and I had my birthday away as well, which was flipping cool. We went to a place in Dartmoor, which was like a lovely river. The town was called Oakhampton. Mm-hmm. A lot of it was shut because it was Sunday.
Yeah, we arrived on Sunday.
Yeah, a lot of it was shut.
Birthday was Sunday.
But all in all, it was sick because we got to go to Dartmoor. There's a lot of army people there, but the river you can just walk down, and we were like having a little dip in the river. So that was
ice cold.
Ice cold, but it was lovely.
But I got up to here at least.
Yeah, I also got up to here. No, I got up further than you because I'm
not in the end. At that one bit you did, but afterwards I was getting in.
Was you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyways, that was flipping cool. I really enjoyed that. And before that, a day before, we kind of celebrated my birthday early because we were with our friends, close mates, and we stayed in this little lodge. Well, I say little, it was actually quite big.
Is that like a converted barn?
Yeah, converted barn, and the area outside that we had, the land was insane.
amazing.
We had a water balloon fight, and there was like, it was a dodgy lake because it wasn't very clean, but there was like a kayak thing on the lake.
Yeah.
It was huge. Again, I'll lay some pictures over, but flipping cool. I mean, the jacuzzi worked but didn't work. That's another story again.
The motherboard.
The motherboard didn't work apparently, but we got it working and got told off. But that being said, it was a really good weekend away, and I'd definitely do it again. Definitely. Yeah. The thing is, if you're in the UK and you know there's not much countries, we looked at a green list the other day on the government website of what countries you can actually visit, and there's not that many. You've got Australia, New Zealand, but if you want a short weekend away somewhere or a short week away, you're not really going to go to Australia, are you?
No, not for a couple of days from here.
So England does have some really lovely places. You've got to time it right with the weather and you've got to get to the right place. But should we do the first question?
Yeah.
Also, I do like to have a different drink every single podcast, and so far I've kept that going. I don't think I've had the same drink, and I don't think you have either.
No.
Or have you had two? I think you might have had 2 teas.
One tea, and then the other one was like a mango
thing. Yeah. We've done 3 podcasts so far.
Yeah, so mango, tea, beer.
No, we've done 3. This is our 4th. I don't know what the other.
The other one was Disaronno.
Was it?
Yeah.
That was what I had.
I
don't know. Anyways.
No, because you had your latte.
That was a different thing. No, that was when you had your tea. So, moving on. Well, not moving on, but we're moving on to our first sort of question, and this is more for Danny than me, and it's very relevant to what we were just saying because we were obviously at the seaside, and I absolutely love the sea, and I love water in general. Get me anywhere. River, lake, sea, pool, I'm there. I love it. But I've never lived anywhere near the sea. I live in a town or city called Milton Keynes. And I think Birmingham is the furthest from the sea. Is it Birmingham? Or Northampton?
I'm not sure.
We're quite close to one of the furthest places in the UK away from the sea.
Okay.
So we're really far. And if we drive an hour and a half away, 2 hours, we don't even get to a nice sea. Like, we see the sea, but it isn't nice. It's not a nice beach. You get to, like, Southend. You don't really want to be swimming in Southend when there's Cornwall and Devon and Scotland, but they're all so far away. So, moving with that, what is it like to live by the sea? Because Danny has lived by the sea how many years of your life?
Well, this is a hard question because I can't say for UK seaside, and I have said it is different because it is.
Yeah, because of the weather and the temperature of water.
So I can't give an opinion on what it would be like to live in England.
No, that's cool, but we're diversifying.
Okay. I think I definitely took it for granted.
That's what you do with all things in life, I swear.
Took it for granted a lot. Like, if I could choose to live there right now, I would. But I lived in a place called Dido Valley in Cape Town, sort of like right south of Cape Town, Cape Point area, Simonstown, Fishhook area. It was beautiful there. Well, pretty much all of it is, but I think it's better than living in a city. I don't think I've ever been a city person.
Have you? I swear Cape Town is a city though, or it's near to a city? Because Cape Town's massive.
Cape Town's massive, but you get Cape Town city centre, like the centre of the city of Cape Town, which is city vibes. But then as you go out of that,
how big would you say Cape Town city centre is compared to London or Milton Keynes? What size would you say from Milton Keynes to London to Manchester? Like, what's the size range?
I'd probably way over exaggerate this because
no.
Cape Town city is massive. I can't even put it into perspective really. I think I'd probably say Manchester, Liverpool, Birmingham, London together.
Together?
Yeah.
There's no ways.
Google it. Let's Google it and see.
I won't Google it now, but
it's big.
I don't think it's that big. Don't forget how big London is. London's
not
huge.
big.
Yes, it is. It's
England,
the biggest city in
England's
UK.
this size, right?
Yeah, I know that.
So London's probably this size.
Yeah.
South Africa is this size.
Yeah, but Cape Town.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't say it. The actual city bit. Okay. Maybe that's a bit of a...
It's a massive exaggeration. London, Birmingham, Manchester, all put together.
It's a
Liverpool.
big place. It is a big place. If
Okay.
you're talking just about the city vibes, maybe London and another big city that we have.
Okay, alright, yeah.
It's
but
big.
What's it like to live by the sea there then? Like...
But don't forget, even you got places like the waterfronts and stuff like that you get in Cape Town as well. That is by the sea. So it's still the city, Cape Town City.
Yeah.
But it's in the harbour. You got the massive harbour as well.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, where I was living, I definitely took it for granted.
You could surf and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And fish?
So when I was...
Did you see fishermen?
Yeah, a lot more in Simonstown area. And Cork Bay. But for me, when I was younger, it was just, it's a good thing for children, I think.
What? Living near the sea?
Yeah.
Okay.
A good thing for children because when I was in primary school, we had lots of like activities that we were doing on the beach. Like I was doing lifeguard stuff on the beach. Missions, running that whole beach with all your gear.
I could do it.
But
easy.
I think it's good for that, and who doesn't like a beach?
I love a beach.
I mean, you get a lot of people that don't like a beach, but for me, I love the sea.
Yeah, I love
the sea, and I think
it was warm, wasn't it?
Yeah,
the sea's warm.
So warm, and you have those. It's something to do, and I know if you live there all the time, you don't get bored of it, but it's same. But it's like it's nothing better. I don't know how to explain it. Like I would go back today if I could to live there.
Yeah.
And I would choose it probably living over anywhere else.
Yeah. So
not that specific place, but living close to a beach.
The only thing I would say, like, and this moves on to like our points as well. Obviously, we're getting older and stuff like that, and at some point we're going to be moving out. And I've always lived in Milton Keynes all my life, and it's so far away from the sea. There is things to do here. Don't get me wrong; it's a nice city, but there gets to a point where you're like, if you're not by a river, lake, or anything like that, what do you actually do? You've got the escape. Like you go to the cinema and have a dinner. Like there's nothing to do that is free. That's entertaining. Yeah. If I live by, let's say for example, if we're just saying in the UK, if I live by Cornwall or Devon or wherever, you've got good surf. I can take up surfing. We can fish for our food.
Yeah, there's a lot
we
of
can chill
surfing.
on the beach.
Yeah,
we can have barbecues on the beach.
That we had loads of surfers. A lot of like people in my school would leave school during school to go and surf.
That's what I mean.
Not
like
that
lunch
we
breaks,
recommend
go and.
But
I definitely recommend that.
I think fitness wise is good because
you could do runs on the beach. You could
runs on the beach, even walking
workouts.
Even walking in the beach sand works your legs
a
a lot more than just walking on the
yeah.
road.
I just think the sea brings so much things to do that is free. Now, I'm not trying to be a cheapskate or anything like that, but it comes to a point where even when you say you have a family, well, when you have a family, a lot of it goes on like your kids and stuff and doing activities, but if you can just go down to the seaside,
grab some food, go down to the beach,
get a bag of chips,
let
down
them
to the
just
beach.
go swim, make sandcastles, do whatever they're gonna do.
All free.
Older kids can go surfing, swimming, and normally there's a lot happening on the beaches. Can't speak for England, but that thing's flashing.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Can't speak for England side because I feel like it would be a whole different vibe. Because you can't just go, oh, okay, well, I'm going to go down to the beach and have a swim.
You have to go.
You're not going to be
What
swimming.
time of the year is it? It'll be in
still,
July or August.
Summer, I would not be swimming in the sea.
I'll swim in the sea. I just have to have a wetsuit.
Exactly.
But that's okay. If you live there,
No.
I'm having all the gear. I'm having the best wetsuit. I'm having the best surfboard.
If I want to swim in the sea, I don't want to be in a wetsuit.
Well, that's what you have to sacrifice in England because the sea ain't warm.
But that's where the difference is.
That's why we have to move to Indonesia.
For me, if you live by a beach, it has to be warm. Else there's no point.
Well, let us know in the comments if you live by the seaside, whether that's in England or not in England, America, Indonesia, wherever the hell you're from, and let us know, would you move away from the seaside, or do you love it so much you would never move away?
And also the fishing side of it.
Yeah.
The fishing side of it, fishing for your own food, that's brilliant.
Free food. Like, again, not being cheapskate, but it's the best. We had that mackerel. I don't like mackerel. I've had it from Tesco, wherever you buy it from. I've had it from a fishmonger. I don't like the taste of it. I have it fresh. We killed it. We took it home 3 hours later and ate it on a barbecue. And it was amazing. It was delicious.
It was good.
So, and that was all for free. The only thing you had to buy is the setup to actually catch your fish.
But we had that already.
But we had most of it already, just the lures.
But if you live by the sea, you probably would buy that and it will be a good investment.
That's what I mean. Like, and at the end of the day, like, yeah, you could say, oh, well, you just go down to near your fishmongers near the sea because it'll be more fresh. But still, it's nothing beats just catching it and cooking it straight away. Like,
the reward of you catching it
and
is
yeah,
a lot better.
you actually getting your meal. At the end of the day, like, I feel like I wouldn't be able to kill a cow or anything like that. I don't know. I don't think I could have it in me. But I do eat meat. I do eat like beef.
Well,
and
historically,
stuff.
you must think about how humans have evolved. We've always lived off the sea. That's why it's on this earth. It's to feed us.
Exactly. So, but it's easier. It's much easier to kill a fish than it is to kill a cow. Not that I've ever killed a cow. But
I couldn't be doing that.
I couldn't do that. But it's just...
I can't even kill a fish, to be honest.
No, only accidentally, like...
When?
With the mackerel and it's had its hook in its mouth quite
but we
far
had to keep that one anyways.
Yeah. That's why I say accidentally.
Accidentally killed it, but I don't think I could. I think over time, if I had to, and I was living there and got in that process, but...
And another point to it, fishing off the rocks or wherever, fishing off a pier... is much more healthier for our oceans if that's how you would get your fish. Not if there was no fishmonger, you couldn't get fish from Tesco. It would be so much healthier for the seas if you had to fish for your food, because there's no big trawlers trawling the bottom of the seabed with
that's
loads.
Not gonna happen,
I know.
That's never gonna happen.
In my mind, eating fish that I have caught, I know that I haven't damaged the sea in any way, shape,
gone out
or
in a
form.
boat or anything.
Didn't use petrol, nothing like that. It's much more of a satisfying dinner in your mind, as well as it tastes better.
Yeah.
There's nothing better. If you don't like fishing, it still doesn't matter. You can easily go and catch some lovely fish. If you don't like the taste of fish, then if you have tried it fresh, then fair enough. Don't do it. But if you ain't tried it fresh, you don't know what you're missing.
Yeah. It's a lot different taste.
It's completely different.
Because you can even see the discoloration in the fish. As soon as it comes out of the water and you kill it, it instantly starts losing colour and changing colour.
They do something with the salmon. I watched a documentary where they inject red into salmon to make it more like... inject pink to make it more like pink, so in shops it displays nice, more aesthetically appealing. I think that's mad how people can get away with that kind of stuff. You should be able to sell it what it is, not let me just inject something like this, something like that, and make it like that's how people get some weird infections and all sorts of stuff. But that's another conversation. We won't get into that one. Next question. Are we happy with that? I think that answered it pretty well. It means that we need to go and live by the sea.
I mean, yeah,
that's what I want to do.
It means we do, but it needs to be warm to enjoy it to the fullest. For me,
true, but I'd rather be near it than not near it.
I think in England, if we're talking about England, I think living near the seaside is a lot better. There's pros and cons.
There is pros and cons.
Because you move down to the seaside in England and you start losing the amenities. You start losing the shops and the things to do and the...
When it's cold.
And the cinemas and those kind of things. Because you're not going to find that. And you're hardly going to find shops.
That's why I feel like a city would be better. Like a city nearby a beach. So like Bristol is a city and it's quite near to a nearby beach. Anyways.
Southampton.
Loads of different. Plymouth, all sorts. Next question. We're going to go on to budgets for travelling. Again, specifically for Southeast Asia. I mean, we could easily do other budgets because that's how we budgeted the last time. I made a massive list of rough things that are going to cost. So like rough plane journeys, rough food per day. You're not going to always know exactly what you're going to spend, but you can get a rough estimate. But this will be based off, for this podcast, Southeast Asia in general, not Singapore, because Singapore is a lot more expensive than any other Southeast Asian country, I think, pretty much. But I'm always going to ask, like, what do you think is the budget per month to enjoy yourself and not to limit yourself in travelling Southeast Asia?
I think as a couple, if you're with someone, I think comfortably £1,000. In a couple, I think a lot less if you're single.
I think it might be either very similar or less.
I think it'll be less because you must remember
I know the hostel prices.
And that's a daily expense, is your accommodation.
Yeah.
And hostels are going to be a lot cheaper than hotels. We stayed in minimal hostels.
Yeah, because...
1 or 2.
Because that little extra could... The £3 extra would get us a whole lovely double room. And
private as well.
Private stuff.
Whereas if you're a single traveller, it's a lot cheaper to stay in hostels.
Where you could be spending £4 a night. But I think in other ways it's more expensive, i.e. if you're getting a taxi by yourself to a place. Or if you're using some sort of service where me and you would split the cost. So let's just say, for instance, a taxi or a Grab or something. We got a Grab to a destination that's 10 miles away. That same journey is going to cost the same amount of price for that one traveller as it is for both of us.
Yeah, but then you can say the same with tuk-tuks. They charge per person. So whether you're with someone or not, you got to pay your...
Yeah, but taxis don't do that. Grab is...
But we hardly had Grabs.
No, we did...
In the cities, we use Grab,
it a lot.
As soon as you come out of the city...
But that's what I'm saying. So I think it evens out. And if you are a solo traveller, I would still stick to £1,000 because the worst comes to worst... Figure. Well, the best comes to best. You're just going to have a bit more money to spend.
Yeah. £1,000 you'll be fine.
I think at £1,000, unless inflation has happened massively in these COVID times,
which it has,
which it probably has, so maybe this is off, but I don't think it will be. £1,000 a month,
and that includes getting around.
That includes getting around. It includes
flights.
It includes flights.
We weren't staying in one area, so sometimes we had to get a couple of flights in the month.
We travelled hard. We went to many locations. We did not skimp out on food, I wouldn't say, and drink. We had our food and drink.
We had a fair share.
Fair share of food and drink. Activities.
Food's pretty cheap anyway, so.
Activities is a big one because an activity could cost £10 or it could cost £100 if you're going to the elephant place.
I think like the really cool things.
You need to budget separately for maybe.
No. Not even separately. They are going to cost a lot more. Because it's a tourist attraction. Yeah. And those people know that they can charge higher prices because tourists are willing to pay those prices. Yeah. But I feel like that still stands in the budget.
Yeah. Our budget? That's not my accent.
Got brown stuff on your lips.
Oh, lovely.
Let me get that for you.
Thank you very much. Our budget, although did not include diving.
No.
So, diving is a lot more expensive than your daily activity.
But that's a subjective thing. Not everyone's going to be travelling and diving.
No, but if you are, I would probably add a different budget to.
But even so, diving. It's not even expensive. If you're talking Southeast Asia,
it's not expensive, but it's a lot cheap. More than other things.
£40-50 a session.
Per day. That can add up quickly.
Yeah, it depends how much you're going to be diving.
Yeah, because we got our diving licence sort of halfway through, maybe even nearing the end.
Just over, yeah.
I can guarantee you, if we got that at the start of our journey,
our budget would have gone down quick.
Budget would have gone like that because we absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would say about £1,000 a month.
I think to add one more thing to that, it depends where you are as well, because I feel like if you go into a few places, they are going to be differently priced or different economies basically. So you might be going to an expensive, but a more expensive place than usual, and then you'll be going to a really cheap place. So then it will
counteract each other.
So you might not spend that £1,000. You might spend 600, but then you'll need that 400
for the
to
other
make
place.
up for the more expensive
That's
place.
very true. Because when I was saying, you have £1,000, and then by the end of the month, if you have more, then you can spend it. Maybe I'll retract that statement. It is more. That's exactly what we saw. Because we'd look at our bank statement, we're like, oh shit, we spent £1,300 this month. And then we look again, it's like, oh, we only spent £600 this month. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, it was more like...
Singapore, again, massively
Vietnam,
expensive.
Cambodia, Laos.
They were cheap. They were very cheap places.
Indonesia, they were the cheapest places. They were fairly similar, I would say.
Vietnam was the cheapest, I think, in terms of... food and drink was the cheapest, for sure, because we got beers that were well cheap.
I think Indonesia was quite cheap for food.
Food, yeah, if you eat local...
If you eat local, yeah. But even the restaurants were quite cheap.
Yeah.
But then those will be quite similar. But then you'll go to places like Thailand. Thailand is one of the more expensive places, I feel, because it is more commercial, a lot more tourists.
I feel that as well. And a lot of people, I feel like that haven't travelled the world and have only gone to Thailand for like 3 weeks or something, go, oh my god, Thailand's the most cheap place I've ever been to.
Thailand is cheap. It is cheap, but it is more expensive than the other places we went to.
For sure.
Yeah.
I totally
For an
agree
example, like the food, what you'd be spending a meal in Cambodia, Vietnam, all those cheaper places, you'd spend, say, £3 per person. The equivalent in Thailand would probably be double.
Yeah.
Or just under double, I would say.
And it's still probably half the price you pay in England or a
way more than
European
half.
country.
Yeah.
But obviously for
when you're budgeting, it makes that difference.
Yeah, it does make that difference.
Yeah. And Singapore, I noticed
crazy expensive.
Not even crazy expensive. It's the food wise, Singapore was on par with Thailand.
No.
Yes.
No,
listen to me. Where we were staying, all those street food places were on par with Thailand.
There was no street food places.
Yes, it was. Do you not remember walking up those streets and they had all those... Obviously, it's not on the street, but they had all those shops.
They had, like, restaurants and stuff.
But it was street food restaurants.
Yeah, and don't you...
They were similar prices.
No.
Yes, they were.
Because there was... Why we didn't eat there, because they were so expensive and we had hot dogs in a kettle.
It wasn't so expensive.
Why did we have hot dogs in a bloody kettle
Because we were cheap asses.
No, because we ate loads in Thailand, so why would we not continue that in Singapore?
It was a little bit more expensive.
It was definitely more expensive.
But not crazy
It's probably
amounts.
like £10 for some noodles.
No, nowhere near.
I don't know, if you're in Singapore, let us know how much your noodles cost at a typical restaurant.
But... in terms of like taxis, getting around, entertainment, those kind of things.
Oh no, entertainment we had a lot which was free. Singapore had quite a lot of the stuff, like there was the gardens, they were free. Just walking around is free, obviously, and there was
They're
some
free
really
until
cool
you want to go up and
which we
check
didn't.
the thing. But yeah, there's a lot to see, so you can do it cheap, but you still need to get around.
Yeah.
And it is going to cost a lot more than a tuk-tuk. You're not going to find a tuk-tuk in Singapore.
Yeah.
Put it that way. You're going to have to get a Grab, and it's going to be a lot more expensive than any Grab anywhere else. Yeah. You're in a big city. It's like the Asian London.
Life.
That's how I see it.
Words go.
Big city life, you want to get right?
That sums it up. Let's go on to the next question. Actually, it's not a question. It's a half-time story. Half-time story.
Okay, what's
so, in either the last podcast or the podcast before, we said we would say in the next podcast about how her brother got attacked or taken by baboons. I don't even know how we
got to speak
about it. I don't know how we got to speak about it. I have to watch it back. But that is exactly what we said. And we didn't do it. So we're going to do it in this podcast.
Okay, I have to like rack my brain because the only memory...
Tell us the story.
The only memory that plays over in my mind from this... I'll have to actually ask my brother if he remembers that because he was only a baby. He was probably about...
No.
Yeah, but I remember things from...
I don't. I remember anything from yesterday.
How traumatic that must be. So some kids remember traumatic experiences, but all I remember about this experience was our driveway sort of like came down a little hill and then there was like a fence and then over that fence was our garden into our back garden.
Picturing it now.
Into our back garden.
Yeah.
And our back garden had a wall at the end and over that you could like, it wasn't a massive wall, it was a tiny old wall. You could literally just like
size
jump.
Of the table.
Yeah, so when I'm standing up, that's probably the wall size.
Yeah.
And over that was a little bit of a drop onto the like a main road. And we lived, this is sort of near the same area, it was Glencairn area, also near the sea, but also where the sea meets, it goes up into the mountains, and we were in the mountains bit.
Just typical day in the mountains.
Not like that, not how you picture it, but...
England, flat.
Full. We always had problems with baboons. Always. And
are you sure they were baboons? Because baboons are huge with...
I'm sure they were baboons. Okay, right. I'm 100% sure.
They're giraffes as well?
No.
Oh,
but
cool.
They were baboons. They were... And they're scary. They are very...
I know they're bloody
very
scary
animals.
They're big.
And all I remember being in the passenger seat of my mum's car, and my brother was in the car, and my mum got out to open the gate, so the gate was like, just open the gate, but she left the clutch off.
Okay.
And I think, oh no, did I open the gate? Oh no, I was in the passenger seat. And
come on, tell the story.
Yeah, right. I am. And she left the clutch off, and the car just started rolling and rolling and rolling. Okay. So I just remember it was like just a shitstorm of just like panic from then already, and rolling, and my mom had to like jump in the car, pull the handbrake up, and then that was already like on
Fast
edge.
and furious shit.
And we all got in, closed the gate or whatever, parked the car up, got all the shopping inside or whatever. Got my brother out. And as we like unloading and everything, I'm inside, my mom's inside, and my brother's standing at the back garden door. He's only about 2. We lived there when he was about 2, 3, pushing it. And he's standing by the door, and I'm unpacking the shopping, and I look at my brother, and next minute there's this huge baboon behind him. Massive, bigger than him.
Yeah, of course.
And I just froze instantly because I don't know what this thing's gonna do. I
ain't touching that baboon. Take the brother, like.
And I just looked at my mum because like I tried not to like make any sudden movements or anything. That's all I remember is just don't make any sudden movements because he didn't know the baboon was behind him because he's standing at the door looking inside the house at us, doing whatever he was doing, being a 2-year-old. And I'm looking at him and I looked at my mom and I'm like, what are we going to do now? And I feel like my mom just started shouting. Yeah. Which was probably the worst thing that she could have done.
I don't know.
But I think with baboons, you have to, because...
Assert your dominance, the power.
But that's the thing. That's the scary thing. Because it was only... my mom, me, and my little brother, there was no males in the house. And baboons are
not... brother?
Yeah, 2. But they are not scared of females.
Yeah.
The only thing that would make them scared is a male. Which is very scary. So I think my mom automatically just started shouting because you have to make a lot of noise to like scare them off. Because our house used to get raided all the time. And they would trash your house. Yeah. Because they trash your kitchen.
Imagine a baboon trashing your house.
They trashed everything.
That's insane.
They just ransacked the kitchen. I think I remember coming home.
Are you sure it wasn't just you really drunk one night? Like, I was the baboon, man.
I was young. I was probably like 10 at that stage. I was so young. But yeah, we'd had already previously been ransacked before. And... yeah, it's not good because they just ruin everything. They just go for whatever they can grab in the kitchen and they're scary. Like if you and I had the shopping bags. So this thing's clocking me with the shopping bags.
Yeah, I'd have dropped that in a second.
Yeah. So my mom just automatically just like started shouting, try to get the baboon away, because we don't know how many are going to follow. Because that's a big one. So if that's the big one, where's the rest of
Where's
them?
the granddad?
No, that was probably
that was the
close
granddad.
to the granddad. But where's the rest of them? Because I don't travel alone.
Yeah.
You don't hardly ever see them alone. So the door's now wide open, and they will go for you. Like, if they feel threatened, they're going to go for you. And all I remember is the baboon picking my brother up with one arm, like this, and holding my brother on his chest, and just legging it.
He just ran away.
Just ran away with my brother.
I bet you're like, oh my god, my brother's going to be like Tarzan.
And I just started panicking. And that wall that I was talking about, I think that baboon either had dropped my brother before it had jumped over, or it had jumped over the wall with him. But that's all I remember, and I was just in such a panic because I didn't go running after the thing.
My mom didn't help your brother.
No, my mom did. That's all I remember. And then he didn't get taken away, but that fear of that actually happening.
Yeah.
Because if they had taken my brother and run off and never came back, like...
You could have been literally Tarzan.
Or had run it, because that little drop goes onto the road. If it had jumped over because it was scared with my brother and a car came flying past, would kill both of them.
King Kong.
Yeah. Yeah,
just imagine that.
Many stories of baboons ransacking our places and...
Your brother gets lost with a baboon and stuff like that. And my scariest story when I was younger was getting lost for 5 seconds in the city because my dad turned around, went somewhere, and I turned the other way, and then I lost him for like 5 seconds and started crying.
That is scary though.
I was like, oh, where's my dad?
That is scary.
Yeah.
I remember that same house. From our front door, we had like a little park area, and that was sometimes always full of baboons, like the whole place. And then you just know, okay, we've got to wait for them to like move through the town or like the housing bit.
You know when you get ant repellent for England, like
What?
you have ant repellent on your like.
Oh yeah.
Do you get baboon repellent? If not, it's a business idea.
I know a lot of people, because majority of houses, probably 99% of houses, have burglar bars on the windows. They would just wrap like fake snakes around them.
Okay.
And that will keep the baboons from like trying to come through your windows sometimes if they're not clever enough to.
No, it's a fake snake.
Yeah.
That's insane.
But yeah, I remember that park, and I went there the one time, and I would not do this now, but me being the brave kid that I was, like nothing scared me. I just remember this baby baboon that I saw there, tiny little thing. He was probably like this big.
Trying to take it home, probably, again.
And I picked him up and I was playing with him for a little bit, but
where's the mum? Like,
that's what I'm thinking now. Like when I'm thinking about that stuff now, I was like, I would never do that now. Because
I don't know, I wouldn't put it past you. Try to take a hedgehog home.
When there's a baby, there's going to be a mum and a dad, and the mum's going to be the scariest one.
Yeah.
So it was cute. I'm glad I did that. But
I'm glad I did that.
Yeah, it was super cute.
Got to hug a baboon.
But it's just...
Not many people
weird,
can say that.
It's a weird thing to, like, know what your upbringing is like compared to what mine is.
Yeah.
And completely different, vastly different upbringings that we had.
And then, like, another person from another country, again.
Yeah,
completely different upbringings. That's where the world's great. Like, that I love. Because everyone brings something to the table. Everyone has a story.
I actually can't wait for you to go
get
there
taken
now.
by a baboon.
Yeah, please take him. But no, to actually experience that, because to me that's normal.
Yeah.
And you were like, "Are you sure it's a baboon?" Like kind of thing. I'm like, "Yes, I'm sure." Like I know.
Yeah, but then where's the giraffes, man? Can't have baboons and no giraffes.
You don't have giraffes in the mountains and the sea, do you?
I don't know. I've never been. Anyways.
But yeah,
that was a good story.
I'm actually excited for you to see that because that's going to be quite funny. Because my auntie Emma still gets
raided,
and you can hear them. And they just walk around, like while you're walking and driving, they're literally just walking in the road.
I'm gonna invent some baboon repellent. That's my business idea.
They're protected as well.
I know. Yeah. That's yeah. I can't even imagine.
You get baboon rangers that will like walk around with their high-vis vests on to try and like herd them.
Baboon rangers.
You do.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's literally.
Because you get like the the odd nutcase in the town that will try and shoot them.
Yeah, of course.
Because they sort of like the rodents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like...
But you don't go around shooting
They're
baboons.
like there's like, you know, where you get fox hunters in England and people hate people killing foxes, which I wouldn't.
No, but people go out specifically to hunt them.
Yeah. So,
whereas like...
So the baboon killers...
No.
Oh.
They wait till they're on their land and they will just shoot them.
No.
And the baboon rangers are obviously against that.
Yeah, of course, because we're trying to protect them.
Yeah.
Next question?
Yeah.
Moving on to the next question. What is your biggest regret when we went travelling? Or before we went travelling? Or anything to do with travelling, what is your regret? I've got mine.
Go on.
And it's hard to say. I don't and I do at the same time. It's really weird. Because obviously we saw my dad and stuff at the end of our travels in Thailand. But I regret going back to Thailand for a second time. I feel like...
I don't.
You don't?
Because we wouldn't have got to see your dad.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I actually regret not seeing your dad enough when we were there.
Yeah, me too.
And I regret... Because we had plans to go with your dad somewhere.
Koh Chang or whatever it was.
And we never did that. And I regret that we didn't do that. I can't remember. I think it was because we couldn't get Ploy to come with us or something.
No, it wasn't that. No. It was just money. It was money.
But we could have put in for that.
Yeah, I know.
So I regret that didn't happen.
I regret that didn't happen. But I regret not that section because you think we were there for like another month and a bit, I think. We were there for quite a while. That section where we were at my dad's, I don't regret. But the rest of the time, because we didn't have to do that.
Because we'd done it already.
And we went to Koh Lanta again. We went to Koh Phi Phi again, I think. Yeah, we went to Koh Phi Phi
we did,
again.
And it was dead then.
And we went to... What's the one to the left?
Koh Lanta,
not an island. Where everyone gets litty. That old man with the hooker. When he got a hooker at his hotel. Prostitute. And we was with Cece. And we was at the pool. And then the old man like closed his curtains and stuff. Where was that?
I
Can't remember. Left of Koh Phi Phi. It's an actual island. Can't remember. I can't remember what it's called. But I regret all of that because we already did it. And it was much better the first time. We could have used
that time to go
somewhere else. Like, we could have gone anywhere else that was nearish. I think it's because of the budget and we were going home in 3 weeks or whatever.
And we needed to see your dad before we went home.
Yeah, so it made sense to do Thailand again. But I feel like we should have
wasted a lot of time in Bangkok as well.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people
Bangkok's
like Bangkok.
For dating.
A lot of people like Bangkok, but I feel like for me, once you've been to Bangkok and you've done what you need to do in Bangkok,
go elsewhere.
It's done.
Yeah, go elsewhere.
I wouldn't necessarily say you need to go back because once you've done what you've done, there's other places that I would go back to, but
of course. But that would be my regret is doing so much of Thailand again instead of finding another culture. Me and you, we both love our cultures. We both don't be gigging the camera. It's wibbling the camera around. Wobbling. Wibbly wobbly. So I regret doing that because we love our culture. So we would love to have seen another 3 weeks or some other country, experience some more food. You know, like instead of doing the same thing we've already done.
Yeah, but
even just
you live and you learn.
Even in Thailand, we could have just gone to a different island. But I think
we'd done so much.
We're just worn out as well.
I think we used that last time to be like
chill now.
Chill.
Don't do the travel thing.
We literally just plodded along, chilled, and just was like counting down the days to come back.
Yeah, that was basically it. What's your regret?
Coming back.
Whoa, it moved nicely onto that. Same. Why? Why did we come back? We should have just stayed and worked. Or
do you know what? Now that I've been there, I feel like I could easily go and live there for a bit and just like bum out in life for a little bit.
Bum out.
I'm serious.
Literally, I want to learn how to surf. Just go to somewhere that's got.
You don't
nice
have to go there
waves.
to learn to surf.
No,
but other things like just the whole chill vibe of just like getting up. You don't even have to look outside to know what you're going to wear, for one.
Yeah, even if it's raining, it's boiling. Like,
yeah.
It rains here.
It was colder inside than it was outside.
Oh, many times.
So cold.
Many times we'd have the aircon on and it would just blast us and we're like, okay, it's really cold in here. And you go outside and you're like, oh, it just hits you. It's like a wall.
And I miss that. Because here, you can look at so many weather reports and it'll tell you it's going to rain, so bring your jacket. So you dress in 3 layers of clothing. You go to work, do what you got to do in the day. By 12 o'clock, you're sweating your millie off because the sun's now come out and giving you a heat wave.
No one's going to understand what's sweating your millie off if you're English, but we're going to carry on.
Translate.
Sweating your balls off, basically.
Pretty much.
All the Africans out there would have known. Well, not South Africans would have known.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay, coming back. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to live there.
That's fair enough.
I think I would love to live there. I think maybe I should.
Wait, where?
Anywhere there.
Any Southeast Asian.
Where would you go?
Obviously Indonesia.
You go to
Southeast
Indonesia?
Asia. Yeah.
I could live in Thailand.
I could live in Thailand.
I like the Thai culture.
I like the food.
I like the food. I like the places.
Almost the best was Thailand. Like for food, I'd say it was pretty good. Like the freshness of it was lovely. Like the fresh ingredients.
Thailand was good.
Like limes and chilies.
Indonesia was good as well. I think if I had to choose,
was good.
I would live either in the Philippines because their English is immaculate.
Their food's dead though. Sorry if you live in Philippines. I've found them food atrocious though.
It depends where we were.
Everywhere.
Don't forget the chicken and the...
Okay.
And the pork.
Yeah, they were good! Spit roast chicken and
we
pork.
had a lot of good seafood stuff there as well.
Yeah, no.
It was just when we first arrived there, we were in Puerto Princesa.
Yeah.
And we didn't have a lot of options and we ended up at some harbour with some dodgy seafood stuff. So I think your recollection
my recollection is Jollibee when we were in the city and it's like their Mackie D's and I'm like, nah, no.
It was some microwave meal thing.
I'm like, no.
But no, I think Philippines for obviously the beach side of it because the Philippines, perfect.
Crystal clear waters.
And having that sort of easiness of getting around because they speak our language.
Salamat makan. That's Indonesian, isn't it? I don't even know what that means. Hello.
Yeah.
Foreigner.
I think it is. Hello, how are you?
But that are our regrets then, I'd say.
Next question is restaurants, and we're going to go back to when we were away, and we are, right? Or are we just...
I would say so, but
because we don't have that here.
Oh yeah, you can't really say it in English.
So when we were... I think we should base it off when we were away.
Okay.
Because you have those options.
Yeah.
You don't really have them here.
Not really. I know I'd pick restaurants every day of the week.
Yeah,
here.
Street food here is...
Yeah, burger van. Yeah. That's our street food, burger vans.
Bacon roll. Sausage roll.
Anything with roll in it.
Yeah. No, so we're going to do sort of a restaurants be street food.
How do you do a versus?
Man versus food.
Man versus food.
Yeah. So, what's yours then? Because I have mine.
Easy, hands down, street food wins every single bloody time. When we was away, not only is it usually a lot cheaper, almost every single time it was cheaper, it felt a lot more fresh and it just tasted divine most of the time. Sometimes it was dodgy. Yeah. Sometimes we'd have dodgy street food. So it's more risky, probably, to have street food rather than restaurant. But as a whole, I think you luck out more with those because it's cheaper and sometimes you can get a really, really, really tasty street food. Yeah. What about you?
I like both, and I'll explain why.
Obviously, me too.
But for me, I love the whole vibe around street food.
Oh, the vibe as well. Yeah,
I love the whole vibe.
Forgot about
it's
that.
nothing you have ever experienced in your life until you've been there. If you live in the UK or Europe or whatever, you're not going to experience anything like that until you go to Asia. And it's all over Asia.
All I can picture is red chair about yay big.
Oh yeah. And my 6 foot self.
Imagine your dad on that.
But I feel like it was just a vibe. Like you would walk out of your hotel or wherever you were, and you know you're not going to struggle for food. And I'm talking about like that convenience of 1 o'clock in the morning.
Walk out. Oh, there's a van.
Yeah. And
not a van.
And
but...
as well that convenience of late night when you are hungry. Because you'll have your dinner, but then...
little sneaky snack.
Sometimes you've done so much in the day that you'll get back at, say, 8 o'clock at night, and you haven't eaten. And you'd be like, oh...
And now we have to search for what to eat.
But then sometimes we would fall asleep.
Yeah.
And you'd wake up at like random times in the night, like 12 o'clock, and we'd be like, oh, restaurants are obviously shut.
Yeah.
The spas and the 7-Elevens are probably shut as well.
No, 7-Eleven helped us a lot. Sometimes. That's why it's called 7-Eleven.
Not all of them, though.
Not all of them, but...
the chances of you sometimes having a 7-Eleven was very slim.
Yeah, but if there were one...
but still, you don't want to be living off toasties when you haven't had dinner.
Oh, we did have a lot of toasties.
We lived off toasties, but
those were lovely. I miss 7-Eleven.
That's not part of the combo. So, like, that convenience of knowing that anytime you're going to find something.
Yeah.
You're going to find something.
And if you time it right in terms of, like, if it is at 8 o'clock or something, you go and have your street food, you're on these little tiny stalls, you get this, not sauces and chilies and all sorts of things. This little thing that they come over, they give it to you. Sometimes we get so good in there. Like, it was like really tasty chili and salt and all sort of lime and all sorts of stuff. But there'll be loads of people elsewhere next to you vibing as well, having beers. The beers were quite cheap in these little places sometimes. And
I just love street food.
It was very uncomfortable, like the chairs, because they literally are like this big, and you like sit on this little chair. But that just makes it.
I also
for me.
like the thing of like, even if you don't want to have a set thing, like when you go to a restaurant, the standard thing is you sometimes gonna have a starter, main, sometimes dessert, 3-course, 2-course, or just a main, whatever you're gonna eat.
Yeah.
But it's just that one thing.
Yeah.
Whereas street food, for me, I like different things, especially like when we have curries, we're the same. We like different varieties of food. So with street food, when you're in those places with loads of street food vendors...
you can go, I'll have a little bit of this.
I'll have a little bit of that.
A little bit of that.
And just walk down, stop over there, I'll have a little bit of that, stop over there, move to the next place, and just have different things.
Yeah, like we would again, another real good benefit of travelling together. We could get a dish, share it, so obviously it costs less, instead of just getting one dish, and then we could get another dish and share the two together. If you're on your own at that point, and you're by yourself, you can still do it, but it's going to cost you more.
Yeah.
So, like, we could get some noodles and we could get some chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take me back!
Literally. Especially after COVID. I need a break. I need to catch a break in this place.
We need a sponsorship or something, like a travel sponsorship. Just take us back out there, fly us out. And,
I feel like now, if we had to redo it, we'd make some awesome videos.
Our
videos were flipping top notch as they were.
Yeah.
Hashtag web wonders.
Hashtag I worked hard with that.
Yeah.
I took my laptop, the GoPro, and I would edit a lot.
Yeah.
When we got back to the hotel, and the amount of times I had to try and find Wi-Fi and upload a video and stuff was insane.
And you kept it consistent the whole time.
70 videos. The last month was not that many because we went to the same places. But yeah, and the one with Harry and Zach and that wasn't very long because I was having too much of a good time with friends. But yeah.
Yeah.
I that's another regret actually. I regret not doing more. I regret not doing more videos, even though I did do a lot.
And I regret sometimes skimping out on some things. I know it helped us in the long run.
Yeah. In
terms of budgeting, but I do regret skimping out.
Yeah.
On certain things, like minor things, like, oh no, it's silly to even think about now when you'd be like, oh no, I can't spend that £2.
Yeah.
And you're it's £2.
Flipping £2.
Like here, you spend £2 like anything.
Scratch card.
Yeah. £2 is nothing, but there, like, I feel like we did that a lot.
Yeah, we did.
But.
Oh, don't even talk to me about those buses.
I knew you were going to say
that. Pissed me off.
That was like 10p's worth as well.
It was nothing. It was like 30p each.
I think we missed a bus or something because
we missed the boat on that.
We're not gonna name people here.
No, we won't name something. But
we were traveling with some travellers, and we needed to get a bus somewhere
down the road, but it was like 3 miles or something. Maybe.
It was a walk. It would have been a
long walk.
And this person was on probably the same budget as us, if not less.
Yeah, less.
Because their budget was probably £500 a month.
Yeah.
So they were also on a massive budget,
yeah.
and I think we ended up not taking this bus home because it was 10p more than what it was to get there yesterday.
Yeah, and we walked.
And that was the last bus, so we ended up. Did we walk in there? Or did we jump? I think we ended up jumping on the back of that guy's truck, didn't we?
No.
We did jump on someone's truck on the way back.
Yeah, that was Thailand.
No.
No?
We definitely jumped on someone's truck at the way back, and we ended up giving him money.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, either way, we skimped out on that.
Things like that, like if you didn't skimp out, we would have got home.
More time, time to chill, more time to do stuff. Instead of not spending 30p. And that pissed me off.
When we went to the beach.
Yeah, and that one as well. That day pissed me off because I'm like, it's a lovely day. Let's just spend £1 and get there.
Yeah.
And no, we will hike for 50 minutes.
It was like a 2-hour walk as well, just to get to the beach for the day.
And the beach was lovely. I've got a video of us snorkeling there and beautiful corals. We could have spent at least another 2 hours there instead of arsing around.
That's what I mean. That's what
you know how pissed off I was at that.
I do. I regret that. I do
annoyed.
regret skimp. And even I feel like when our friends did come to meet us.
Oh, I feel like we skimped a bit too much.
We spent a lot more than we would have done.
Yeah, we did
by ourselves.
Yeah.
We were already spending over our budget when they were there, but I feel like we still
limited
skimped out.
Yeah, I felt that.
They were only there for a week.
I felt that.
And they were doing a lot of cool things because they're there on a week's holiday.
Yeah.
Not a 9-month holiday.
Yeah.
So they were just splashing the cash, doing cool things, and we sort of sat back like, I know we can't join in, or like when we went for meals, we'd be like when they had the ribs.
Yeah, we had
on their last
meal. We share the ribs. And Zach was like, I'm having all of them. And they were like probably like 15 quid or 20 quid or something. We're like, too much.
Yeah.
I was actually going to say one more thing with the regret.
But it's not a regret. It's not a regret because I think if
it helped with elsewhere, didn't it?
It prolonged our stay.
Yeah.
I think if we weren't like...
Go back to this shithole. I'm joking.
I think if we weren't like that, we would have come back a lot sooner.
Yeah,
and we would have then had missed out on a lot of things.
Earlier or something.
We would have missed out on a lot more things.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's not really a regret.
But it's just something
having enough money to do more stuff.
Yeah, basically.
And one more thing before we wrap up this podcast is, I also regret not getting bikes more times, motorbikes, because we wouldn't hire a bike. Sometimes because they were expensive, they were like £5 a day or something, and we're like,
£5.
Yeah, I'm not going to hire it.
And another thing, like sometimes it depends what bike you got, but when you had that dodgy bike, and it was 2 of us, and we had stuff to carry with us, we could have just spent that extra money to get 2 bikes.
Yeah.
Because some of those bikes, when it was 2 of us on one of those little mopeds and with our bags and stuff.
Heavy.
And the roads aren't legit.
No.
They're not ideal. So that was another thing.
I actually really miss it. I'm like thinking of all the things. I just thought of the crash when I made us crash and I hurt your leg more than myself. But like even that, like it's a memory of me, you, Harry, Kim, and then me, you, Harry, and Zach, like flipping, just whizzing around places.
Oh my gosh, these lot.
I know, Harry and Zach leaving their bag.
Yeah, leaving the bag. But these lads, this was a time out. So the friends that came over, at one stage, it was me, Callan, and 2 of our other friends, both males.
Yeah.
So these 3 boys have their bikes, and I have my own bike. They're all zooming off on their bikes, trying to keep up with each other and race each other on these dodgy, rocky roads. And I'm like, no, I've already crashed on this thing because of you. And I'm taking it easy. And yeah, that was just...
You did really well, though.
I had to keep up. Zach had zero fear.
He had no fear.
He was
I
off.
thought he was going to be a nervous wreck when he got, and he was for like a minute, and then
He had to
was
get
like,
used to it. He had to get used to it.
"Alright, yeah, let's do this." Crashed into a local like twice. Crashed into you, I think.
He went into the wall.
Yeah, went into a wall. I'm just like, mate, you got to slow down a little bit. Harry was
But
off
once
'cause
he got used to it, he was a nutcase on there.
Yeah, massive. I was like, and you nearly died that one time.
Oh.
Because she was getting really impatient. We are talking a lot in this podcast. I think we need to wrap this up very soon.
No, they like to listen to it.
If anybody is still listening, we
Carry
appreciate
on
you.
with that.
Anyways, so I see Dani, and I can see she's being impatient. There's a big lorry.
I blame this on my hunger, and I feel like you're going to explain this story wrong.
And no, I'm not. I'm definitely not, because I saw what happened. Big lorry in front, no room to take over where we are, and she's like, "Okay, well, I'm just gonna get quite near his rear to, I don't know what you were doing,
we
just
were
getting
in
annoyed."
still traffic.
No, we were not.
We were in still traffic. It was moving slowly, and that's why I was getting annoyed, because I don't know why all this traffic was happening, and there was some reason that we had to get back.
No, there wasn't. You were hungry.
Yeah, we had to get back.
We didn't have to get back anywhere. You were hungry.
Yeah, we had to get back to eat.
We didn't have to.
We did.
No, we didn't have to. Let me explain it, because I saw it. You were the one that was a noob. Anyway, so you're right up this person's butt, and you think you might not be. You were really close to the back of this lorry. The lorry brakes, and Danny's like, "Oh crap, I'm very close to this lorry." And you brake, but then you accelerate by accident. And so then you veer into the other side of the road, not seeing any cars from the other side. And they come quick, these lorries and stuff. So if she'd have veered, because you had no control, I think you should have just bumped into the back of the lorry. That would have been your better thing to do. But you veer into the road. If another lorry was coming full, because that side of the road was clear.
Yeah, that's how it was moving.
That side was moving. Every lorry that was coming past quick. If there was a lorry that come that way and you veered in, you are dead. You are instantly dead. And I had a right go at you. I was like, you are being an idiot. And you wouldn't want to speak to me for a little while. You remember?
Yeah,
I had a right
hungry.
go at you. And then you stopped off and you're like, "Oh, don't speak to me." I'm like, you are the one in the wrong here. Like, don't do that, you silly
No, that wasn't why I wasn't.
noob.
That wasn't why I wasn't speaking to you. You were saying we had to carry on going and stay in the traffic, where we actually found a little street food restaurant.
We did find
stall
that
stuff,
place, yeah.
And I was like, no, let's just stop here, let the traffic go, and then we can join in when they go up. And you were like, no.
You were in the wrong.
I was, yeah.
Anyways, yeah, it's been a good podcast. We've done some good answers, and like, subscribe. Put in the comments, what do you want to hear from us next? That's the main thing. We want to answer your questions. Goodbye. Do the peace sign.